First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And yeah, I just wanted to get into this lesson real quick, dealing with the hunger. Okay, now comes the hunger, and for years you've had people reporting on the food uh, supply, being affected, the food chain and the food supply being affected, and how things are going to get worse and worse, and for the most part, you have individuals that are not paying attention, so they go about their every day-to-day life, and they could care less, and that's Jake. They could care less. They go about, so long as they could go to the grocery store and see at least one item on the shelf, they don't have a problem. Everything is good. All right, but now we're approaching the times when, that food is gonna be scarce, and it's gonna start being rationed. All right, and you can read about, the time of ancient Egypt, how the how things were during that time of those hard times during the famine in Egypt. Okay, and how desperate people became, in order to get food to eat, or water to drink. You know, during the time of 70 AD, when people were so hungry that mothers were eating their children. People would try to chew on belts and shoes and whatever they could grab on to try and eat something. But this is the reality, right, of the matter, that people don't consider. Absolutely, they don't consider. The scriptures say, "My people doth not consider." And that's why a lot of these people is gonna hit them like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, see, all these things are going on, and that's why the scriptures say that it's gonna be sudden destruction, because they haven't been paying attention. They haven't been watching the signs. They haven't been. It's like if you don't watch the weather, and you step out, and all of a sudden the sky just go dark and it just starts raining on you. You like, damn, all of a sudden it just started raining. Oh, I didn't even know this was gonna happen. To you it came suddenly, but to somebody that watched, paid attention to the weather, the news and whatnot, he knew that, all right, it was going to rain at 3 p.m. today, so he had his umbrella and everything ready. So it wasn't sudden to him; it was expected. And that's how it's going to be for you people. And people, the realization is really going to set in when there's no food, or when the food is very, very limited. When you actually have to go 1, 2, maybe 3 days without food or water, and what makes it worse is you don't know when you're gonna get food or water. You don't have any means to get food or water. That is what's gonna drive these people to start thinking of these different ways. And those actions are gonna, like it says in 2 Ezra 15, the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Why? Because they're gonna think of different ways that they can satisfy or escape the stress and pain and anguish that they are in, and that's gonna lead to them doing some pretty crazy things that they wouldn't normally do, which includes breaking into people's houses, robbing, killing, stealing, all of these things that they wouldn't normally do, out of that hunger and that desperation. They're gonna do these things to survive, and it's gonna go to a state like survival of the fittest. And a lot of these people are not fit mentally, because a lot of situations you can get out of if you just use your brain a little, but a lot of these people, they don't have the mental capability to be able to do such a thing. All right, but enough said. I'm gonna start off in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 24. Actually, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 22. It says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown." All right, so when you're dealing with agriculture, or food planting and all of that, you sow which is the planting, and then you reap during the time of the harvest. Now, if the sown places become unsown, then there is no harvest. There's nothing to harvest because everything that was sown is unsown, right? Say you plant all these seeds and you prepare all of this, and then maybe a flood happens, or a drought. Then whatever, and therefore, when harvest season comes, you have nothing to harvest, no crops, because they didn't get a chance to grow. And what does that lead to? Now, when you are supplying, when you are supplying food or resources, there's often the case of something called surplus, and surplus is what's left over. So that is how you have these storehouses and these reserves. They come from the surplus of whatever you got that you don't need at the moment. You store it somewhere, like they say, in case of a rainy day. So a lot of the if let's say one time the harvest isn't so good, right? And maybe the crops don't really grow, they can dig into the surplus or the reserves, or the storehouses, pantries, in order to get whatever they need in hard times. But the Lord that we're about to read here, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So when you go to these grocery stores and these shopping centers, and you go ShopRite, BJ's, Trader Joe's, Sam's Club, all the various places you go, Stop and Shop, and every time, for the most part, you go and the cookies aisle, the milk aisle, the produce section, all of that is stocked up because you have stock associates filling these things up. These stock associates have to get these things from inventory and then fill it up. Inventory comes from outside, from trucks that bring them in. So now if there's no trucks coming in, your main source is gone. How are you going to recharge? It's like when you charge your phone and then your phone gets charged to 100%. So you don't need to plug your phone in anymore because you're already at 100%. Now, if your battery or if your charger got broken, you'd be fine for a little bit. You wouldn't immediately be going through some hard times if your charger broke. You'd be fine for a little bit, and that little bit being the time where your battery is gonna last, right? Now, what happens when your battery hits 20%, or your battery hits 10% left, or less, 1%, and then your phone dies? That's when you start feeling the effects of your broken charger, because now you can't charge your battery anymore. You can't recharge. So that's why, in essence, when over the years you've been hearing, the food, the supply chain, in terms of the food, is all being messed up, and you think, well, they said it this year, so we're gonna feel it this year, but then you don't really feel it. Then the next year they saying the same thing, they said it happened last year, but you don't really feel it. Yeah, because you're in that period of using up your battery. But once it's done, which we're at that point now, you need to now find a charger, but your charger's broken. So now people are about to start feeling that pain, and rightfully so, because a lot of these Israelites are living nonchalant. Like they don't have a care in the world, and they have no clue how bad things are about to get. Hunger is not a joke, man. Hunger is not look, you can talk all the shit you want when you're full, when you have a full stomach, when you ate, when you're fine. But when you're hungry, and you're really hungry, you don't want to talk. You don't want to laugh. You don't want to joke. The only thing you want is to eat. And that is going to be denied for a lot of people, to the extent where they actually die. All right? Or they end up eating somebody else. So 2 Ezra 6 and 22 again. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of, you have the emergency broadcast system, That gives a sound. You have sirens. Those are sounds that are given off. And these are sounds that when people hear, especially in the time of calamity, they get afraid. Because they're like, what's going on? Oh my gosh. You know? And what's gonna follow that emergency broadcast announcement is not gonna be good news. Verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. At the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So you're gonna have things get so desperate that friends are gonna fight one against another like enemies. People are gonna turn on another. Because when it comes down to it, you have survival first instinct. And people are not going to be willing to sacrifice themselves or their loved ones before somebody else's. And that's going to cause fights, disagreements. You know, it's going to cause escalation into physical altercation. You know, people might kill each other. Not might, they will. And as it says, the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Because you're going to have droughts and famines, and along with food shortages, you're going to have water shortages. And in Isaiah the 19th chapter, it talks about that as well. Labor shortages, water shortages, food shortages. It's about to get real bad out here, man. And you got a lot of people that are they're just, you know, men, women, boys, girls, everybody's just going about like everything is all sweet. Meanwhile, we've been giving you warning after warning after warning. And you about to enter into the worst time you've ever seen before. You know? Man, look, man, when these things pop off, and there's gonna be no escape. And there's gonna be a sight to see. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Now this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. And that's where we're at. We're at the beginning of famine. All right. The beginning of great death, because a lot of people are going to die of starvation. A lot of people are going to die of starvation. Men, women, children. They're going to die of starvation. Very, very soon, man. It's going to be painful and brutal. There's going to be nobody to calm you down, because no words are going to calm people down. When somebody's starving to death, they don't want to hear words. They want food. So it says, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of what? Of wars, plural. The beginning of wars. And the powers shall stand in fear. Yeah, the rulers, the elites of this stand in fear. They're gonna be afraid. You know, as to how, because things are gonna get out of hand. All right, things are gonna get out of hand. You know. Yep, shalom, shalom. This is 144 Yahushai mouthpiece, Ezekiel 24 and 23. And your tires shall be upon your heads, and your shoes upon your feet. And ye shall not mourn nor weep, but ye shall pine away for your iniquities, and mourn one toward another. So when you pine away, what's that? You're starving. You're getting skinnier and skinnier because you're starving. You know, you're losing nutrients. You're losing muscle. You're losing, you know, all these things. Move myself up a bit. You know. And that's what's going to happen to these people, man. They're going to starve. They're going to cry and beg and all the above, but it ain't going to do nothing. How do you defeat a famine? You know? And that's the thing that they don't think about, man. They don't think about these things. This is Shalom, Vaughn Taylor, Ezekiel 4 and 16. It says, he then said unto me, son of man, I am about to cut off the food supply in Jerusalem. The people will eat rationed food in anxiety and drink rationed water in despair. You hear that? In anxiety and despair. And a lot of people are gonna end up running to Esau for help. Isaiah, I believe 31. You know, they're going to run down to Egypt for help. But there's going to be no help. There ain't going to be no escape. Where do you run to? You know, but are people thinking of that? No. So it says, continuing in verse 18, it says, the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So this is where your mind should be at. Look, man, this is about to affect your actual physical life. You know, so you should be thinking about this. Well, when this happens, like, what am I going to do? And that is going to put that fear of the Lord in you, and that's going to prompt you to do take the necessary steps, all right, to get right with the Lord, because that's the only way. As we reiterate time and time and time again, the only way out of this is through the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, and His Son Yahweh Shai. That's the only way. And you don't want to find that out the hard way. Okay. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague. Now Ezra saw this. This isn't a prediction. He saw this. Why would you predict something and talk about, oh, I'm scared? You know, woe is me. No, woe is me, because he was there. He saw it. When he saw the things going on, he said, what am I going to do? Because Ezra understood reincarnation. 2nd Ezra 14 and 35. So he said, well, when these things happen, what am I going to do? You know, where am I going to run to? Because it looked like there ain't nobody escaping this. It is going to be hot. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. And this is what Yahweh Shai spoke about. Famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. A pestilence is also a plague. It says tribulation and anguish. And what do we know is going to happen as a result of that tribulation? A man having no pity upon his neighbor, but still spoiling and destroying. 16. They're going to spoil and destroy those that fear the Lord. Now you think they're going to come after us, but really they're going to come after everybody. But the only thing is, when they come after the Lord's elect, you got Isaiah 59 and 19. The Lord is going to lift up a standard for His elect. But for everybody else, you ain't getting no standard. The devil going to come and he going to drown your ass like a flood. It says, these are, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So why are these things sent? So you can amend your ways. You can repent. Verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So it's happening, but they're not mindful of it. It's happening, but none are considering, hey, is this actually going to get worse? And is this going to be something that we need to worry about? Nah, that's not where their mind is at. They don't got time to go and do research on how does what's going on in Ukraine actually affect them physically. They don't got time to do research on how these elites' plans, how everything that's going on right now is playing right into their plans. They don't got time for that. You know what they got time for? Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, I don't know, Doja Cat, Rihanna's baby, whatever. That's what they got time for. You know? So it says, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. All right, and that's deflation, when the prices of things go down. And that's happened before. But nevertheless, it says what? They shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what's getting ready to happen. And you keep hearing famine over and over again. Famine is not something to joke with, man. You don't joke with famine. All right? Food, hunger, that's not something you play with. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth, not just America, upon earth, many of them that dwell upon earth, what's going to happen? Shall perish. Perish means you're going to die. You're going to be destroyed. Right? Shall perish of what? Of famine. So because of the lack of food, the lack of access to food, a lot of people that are on the planet are going to die. That doesn't sound too nice. It says here, and the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if by some means you able to, make it out and still and get something to eat and survive off that, you're gonna die another way. You might get shot, you might get stabbed, whatever means it is, the Lord gonna get. See, so there's no escaping the Lord. You might get poisoned. You so hungry you done jumped into the food and then you find out that there's poison in there. It says, verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. So now you know how you may be walking and you turn around and you see like dung on the floor, maybe a dog excretion and whatnot. That's not rare, but there's gonna be so many people dying that's gonna be commonplace. The same way you can walk down the street and see dung, you gonna see bodies. Okay? It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. Because when people die, you have relatives, family members, friends, and they help, they console you, they comfort you. Comforting words, a shoulder to cry upon. All right? To make you feel better, so you don't feel as bad. Well, in that time, ain't nobody gonna be there to give you a shoulder to cry upon. Okay? Because everybody's gonna be going through shit. So if your aunt dies or your mother dies, it's not gonna be a special case. You might go crying to a friend, oh, my mom died. They're gonna say, oh, my dad just died yesterday. So I gotta mourn him. How can I comfort you? Who's gonna comfort me? See? So people are gonna be in for some shit. You guys are both gonna go to your other friend, hoping that they could comfort you, and he gonna tell you, my sister, my brother, and my aunt died just today. Now what? How about y'all comfort me? See, so ain't nobody gonna be here to comfort you. And also, you have one thing about this place is whatever goes on, you always got the media. And the media, they'll tell you, oh, this means this, or this is this. Don't worry about this. It'll be fixed in such and such time. If there's a blackout, you gonna hear it. Oh, we're working on it, Con Edison, or whatever the case is, and we gonna, it'll be resolved in a matter of days or hours. So don't worry about it. So then what happens? People calm down. But very soon, that's not gonna be happening. You ain't gonna have somebody to comfort you and tell you all these things, man. And everybody is gonna be put in a situation, man. And they're gonna seek a way out, but they ain't gonna find any. That's gonna be the painful part. Because when you seek, you have hope. But when that hope is crushed and all you left with is pain and regret, that's the real painful part. And people were not thinking about that. So it says here, there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. All right. So you're going to have abandoned buildings, trees growing, in the cities, burnt down buildings, broke, cars all messed up. Hey, it's gonna look like a scene out of I Am Legend. Matter of fact, it's gonna look worse. It's gonna look like all those horror movies, those The Walking Dead, those post-apocalyptic movies all put together times I don't know, 200 million. So it's not gonna be a pleasant sight. Let alone look, if this is how these prophets felt by seeing these things, how you think the world is gonna feel being in these things? And back then men were harder. They were tougher. They could stomach more things. So compare that. Even with the strength they had back then, they still felt sick and were so afraid. So how much more for people in this time? And that's why it's going to be unprecedented times and uncharted waters. And people are, man, look, you're going to see it, man. You're going to see it. Oh, the water, that's a good precept. I had that in mind. I almost forgot it. The water. This is Yaba Khan 12 Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because when you see God in all caps, that's Yahweh. When you see Lord in all caps, is Yahweh, but also when you see God in all caps, you know, I was going through it with a brother. He actually pointed it out to me. You know, we looked into it. Sometimes you'll see God with a lowercase g, but then sometimes you'll see God all capital G-O-D. And when you look at it, I believe they actually put Yahweh over there. You know, you can always check for yourself, but that's what we saw when we looked into it. You know, but nevertheless, just a quick point. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be what? Hungry. So who are going to eat and who are going to be hungry? Those that are serving the Lord, the elect, they're going to eat. They're going to be filled. The elect ain't going to have to worry about, you know, here it is, you hungry 2-3 days and you of the elect, and the Lord throws you a half-eaten freaking fish, you know? Or you got a tuna sandwich with like 20 bites taken out of it. What is that? What the hell is that? You know, nah, the Lord ain't gonna do that, man. He's gonna feed you properly. He's gonna make sure you full. The same way Yahushua fed the multitude, made sure they were full, and there was still some left over. I believe Elisha also performed a miracle like that. So that's nothing for the Lord, man. Don't worry about it. The Lord got it. He got it on deck. You know, we're going to be taken care of. The Lord can have angels bring you food, as he did with Elijah. So the Lord got many ways to take care of his elect. That's why he said, my servant shall eat. Don't worry about how, just know you're going to be good. So when famines come, we could boldly proclaim, hey, famines are coming. Because we know that we trust in the Lord. And he said, when that time comes, we're not going to be hungry. But those that don't serve the Lord, they're going to be hungry. That's these heathens. That's these wicked Israelites. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Yeah. Your lips are going to be dry. Your throat is going to be dry. You're going to be coughing dust. You could barely talk. Your voice is going to be raspy because there's no moisture. You know, you're going to feel weak, lightheaded. And we're going to have strength. We're going to be rejuvenated. We're going to have good sleep. You know, because the Lord is going to take care of his elect. Continuing, it says, behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Yeah, and why are we going to rejoice? We're going to rejoice in the fact that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is dealing with us, and that he's protecting us, and he's providing for us. And that is very likely that we're of the elect, if he's taking care of us, because that's why the scriptures say, then shall they be known who are my chosen. All right. So it says, verse 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be afraid. They're going to be crying. They're going to be suffering, looking for a way out, and there's going to be none. There's going to be none. And there's none. We're going to, look, man, if the Lord give us a bucket of fried chicken, you ain't getting none. All right, because the Lord said you're going to be hungry. So that means that he doesn't want you to have some. Okay? See, in the wilderness, he fed us all. But in this wilderness, not everybody gonna be fed. All right, so I'm gonna finish off with this. Prisoner of Hope 144, Matthew 6:26. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? And that's a good precept to always keep in mind. What happens to birds during famines? You know, you gotta think about it, right? Well, who stores food for them? So why haven't birds gone extinct? How is it that they're still alive? Because the Lord provides for them. And if he can provide for birds that don't sow and reap and do all that preparations, how much more for us? Not only are we greater than the birds, we are servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And you take care of your servants so they can keep serving you. You know, so we're going to be all right. But now comes the hunger. Now comes the major pestilence. Now comes all of that at once. And man, oh man, are these people, look, man, we can't say it enough. We cannot say it enough. You know, and that's why we are, like Paul said, I put my body in subjection, you know, lest after all this, I become a castaway. You don't want to become like that. All right. Actually, I'm going to finish off here. This is Virgin Island, Straight Gate, Shalom. Jeremiah 7:16. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Because they're going to come, oh, bro, well, pray for me. Oh, I'm going through stuff, bro. You were right. Hey, bro, I'm not going to do that because the Most High is not going to hear you. He's not going to hear it. He doesn't want, if he brought the judgment on you because you're doing wickedness and you're not of his elect, what you think, I'm going to change his mind? You know, that's not going to happen, man. The Most High is going to do what he's going to do. As a matter of fact, he's already doing it. And the fact that it's already started, that's how it's going to play out. Because the scriptures say his word doesn't come back to him void. So it doesn't matter what I say, the Lord's going to do what he's going to do. And as a matter of fact, I don't want him to get mad at me. Because here it is, you know this dude is clearly wicked, but you're going to go to the Lord, and you know, in that time, if the Lord is judging him, you're going to go to the Lord and say, oh, Lord, please don't judge him. I know he's wicked, but don't judge him. The Lord's going to look at you like, so do you want me to acquit the wicked? Are you joining hand in hand with them? Do I need to take a look at you? Do I need to revoke some rights and privileges that I've given you? Because he that is not with me is against me. Did you forget that precept? You know, and we're not trying to end up in that position, you know. So, you know, hard times are coming, man. Hard times, and they're coming quick. So, Dave, let's watch how this year plays out, man. But may Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai make this year the year. And may the Lord bring the full commencement of Jacob's trouble, you know, and Lord willing, Yahushai's return. But, hey, as the scriptures say, watch as well as pray. So with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.